The story begins in an old rundown apartment building where strange and terrifying noises echo every night. A girl living on the sixth floor has gotten so fed up with the sounds that she's covered her ceiling with thick soundproofing material. But even then, the thumping footsteps from above feel like someone beating a drum. To collect proof, she starts recording the noises. Suddenly, she hears a strange rustling near the window. On camera, a faint shadow appears. Now the question is, where are these sounds coming from? Is it the work of a ghost? Or is there some human trickery behind it? Meet the film's heroine, Diane, a simple working woman. She has trouble hearing and often uses a hearing aid. One day she suddenly receives a call from the police. Her younger sister, Joshi, has been missing for the past 3 days. Jayan rushes straight to her sister's apartment, flat 604. Even before entering, she notices a complaint notice from the downstairs neighbor in 504. When she opens the door, the room is a complete mess, as if no one has lived there for months. She tries calling her sister's phone, but it's switched off. The truth is, the two sisters had already grown distant and hadn't spoken properly in months. The last time Jayan visited, her sister kept saying the noises from above were driving her insane. Jayan had brushed it off back then, and now her sister has vanished. While searching the room, Jayan notices strange sticky marks on the floor. Just then, the doorbell rings. A man's voice calls from outside, but the CCTV shows no one there. Terrified, Jayan slowly opens the door. It's the same neighbor who always accuses her of making noise. Jayan is shocked. If the apartment was empty, then who made the noise? Suddenly, she spots a mysterious figure, dressed in red, standing at the end of the corridor. She asks the building's watchman for help. The watchman reveals that her sister Joshi was always obsessed with finding the source of those noises and had searched the entire apartment building. Just then, another girl comes running and says that a terrible stench is coming from the basement. The watchman flatly refuses to check because the basement has been filled with garbage for months. Now Guyan starts to suspect that her sister's disappearance is somehow connected to these strange sounds. So she takes leave from her job and moves directly into her sister's flat, number 604. While cleaning the place, memories of her sister Joshi and their past together keep haunting her. After several attempts, she manages to unlock her sister's phone and discovers that the last call was made to an unknown number. When she dials it, the phone is switched off. Defeated, she leaves a message, hoping to get some kind of clue. She was listening to Joshi's recordings on her phone when suddenly a loud crash came from the upstairs flat. Her heart nearly stopped with fear. Still, she gathered her courage and kept listening. On the recording, her sister's screams and hysterical shouts echoed. Juan thought maybe it was just part of the recording, but the moment she turned off the player, the same noises continued to echo around her. Then suddenly she heard the whisper of a woman right in her ears. Now she was certain. This building was no ordinary place. Something was definitely wrong here. To calm herself, she went to take a shower. But just then, the doorbell rang, along with her sister's screaming voice. "Help me!" Juyan ran toward the door, but then she remembered. Her sister didn't even know the password to the apartment. Slowly, she peeked through the peephole. And what did she see? A dark eye staring straight back at her. Juyan's scream almost broke out, but got stuck in her throat. Just then, a loud, ear-piercing noise went off. The next morning, sister Juhi's boyfriend, Ki-hoon, came over to see. After not hearing anything for 3 days, he had gotten restless and showed up himself. Ja-yun immediately told him about her sister's disappearance. Just then, the number from the last call rang back. The caller turned out to be an employee from the apartment society. He explained that her sister often came to the office to complain, sometimes saying there was too much noise upstairs, other times claiming ghosts were wandering around the building. June's heart sank, realized the situation wasn't that simple. His sister's boyfriend returned. They found another notice pasted on the wall. That night, someone was putting up missing posters. Just then, the doorbell rang. Standing there was the neighbor from apartment 504 downstairs. He looked even worse than before. He threatened them, saying, "This is your final warning." Ki-hun noticed that the man was holding a large knife in his hand. He quickly warned Jun, "Next time if he comes back, don't open the door at all." The following day, Jun was putting up missing posters inside the building. That's when she noticed a little boy staring strangely toward the basement. She shined her flashlight down to take a look, but suddenly a rat scurried out, startling her. Meanwhile, a woman from the upper floor, Yong-in, stopped her and said, "You're not allowed to put up posters here. This building is about to be redeveloped, and if word spreads about deaths or disappearances, the project will be halted." June was still processing her words when she suddenly noticed a little girl sitting on a swing in the distance. But when she looked again, the child had mysteriously vanished. After returning home, she hears her sister's voice coming through the drain pipeline. She presses her ear against it and listens carefully. But then the voice suddenly disappears. Just then, the door begins to open on its own. At that moment, June is shocked to see her sister limping into the room, but there was a strange coldness in her eyes, as if she were someone else entirely. Jian quickly runs after her, but the very next moment, Jushi suddenly vanishes. As soon as June turns around, she sees her sister Jushi hanging from the ceiling. Seeing this, she screams, and in the next moment, June wakes up. She realizes it was all just a terrifying nightmare. Startled, she gets up and heads toward the kitchen to drink some water. Meanwhile, her phone switches on to voice recording mode by itself. Her gaze slowly drifts toward the balcony, where she sees a blurry shadow of a woman emerging from the darkness. Her whole body shivers with fear, and she begins to step back in terror. Suddenly, strange noises are heard outside. It turns out the downstairs neighbor had come again to complain, but June ignored him and, gathering courage, walked toward the balcony. However, when she got there, the shadow had disappeared. She peeks out through the window and notices that the neighbor too has gone somewhere. But the truth was, the neighbor had been distracted by the commotion coming from the 7th floor above. As soon as he reached up there, a severed human head suddenly dangled over him. In the very next moment, an entire corpse came crashing down from above, making the neighbor scream in horror. He tried to run for his life, but before he could even take a few steps, the corpse began chasing him. Terrified, he jumped straight off the balcony. The police arrived and dismissed the whole thing as just an accident, but June suspected this was no ordinary death. She was just about to report it to the police when suddenly the society's president, the building chairman, came in front of her and stopped her. He told her not to spread these things around, otherwise the building redevelopment plan would be ruined. He even taunted her, saying, "The people who live in flat 604 always end up going crazy." Hearing that shocked Ju Yun. Had something already happened in that flat before? She immediately knocked on the door of flat 804. The woman who lived there had just started talking when suddenly a little girl ran past them from behind. The woman said, "Don't worry, that's my daughter." Then slowly she began to tell Ju Yun about an incident from a year ago. Back then, the old society chairman used to live in flat 704. He had gone mad from the noise coming from above and would bang on the walls every day, screaming at the top of his lungs. But these outbursts disturbed the man in 604 so much that one day, fed up, he stormed into 704 and brutally murdered the chairman. While dying, the chairman kept banging on the walls, calling for help, but people mistook it for just more noise and ignored it. After that day, the man from 604 mysteriously disappeared. Many claim they saw him wandering nearby, but in the police records, he was never shown to have left. Since then, flat 704 has always remained empty. When Ju Yun told this to her sister's boyfriend, he immediately became suspicious. Could it be that the old killer is still hiding somewhere in this building? After all, the police never had proof that he'd ever left. This case was eerily similar to his sister's disappearance. Ki-hoon suggested that there must be a secret place inside the building where people could hide. That's when Ju-yeon suddenly thought of the basement. Both of them gathered courage, broke the lock, and went inside. In the dark basement, the path split into two. They decided to search separately. Ki-hoon, holding the camera, walked slowly forward when suddenly he noticed something. On the ground lay the shadow of what looked like a human corpse, its face exactly like the old killer's. Just as he leaned closer to see, a deafening noise rang out, and a severed head rolled right to his feet. Ki-hoon's whole body began to twist in strange convulsions. Not understanding what was happening, Ju-yeon ran toward him. But what she saw next completely shook her to the core. Her boyfriend, with his twisted and distorted body, lunged at her. Just as she was about to pull away, a mysterious figure suddenly appeared. The next thing Ju-yeon remembers is waking up at the society president's house. During their conversation, the president's son tells her, "In this building, I've only ever seen kids from our place and from apartment 804. But the president is left stunned and explains, "The girl from 804 died years ago in an accident." Ju-yeon is completely shaken. Then who was it that she had seen? Meanwhile, the president's son takes off June's hearing aid and signals to her. You've heard voices you were never supposed to hear. If you keep digging, you'll end up dead. Just then, the police call. There's been a body found in the basement, and it's none other than her sister's boyfriend. Now furious, June storms back into the basement and digs through a pile of junk until she finds her sister's video camera. The footage reveals the truth. The real noise was coming from the family in 804. They were trying to stop the building from being redeveloped so they could stay there forever with the spirit of their dead daughter. Following these clues, Dewey finally tracks down her half-dead sister. But suddenly, Alice from 804 shows up. Dewey quickly hides her sister in a closet and confronts Alice head-on. That's when Alice's dark secret is revealed. Because of all the other residents, my daughter had to go outside, and that's when she had her accident. Now I won't let anyone live in peace. She even admits that she was the one who killed the society president, because she wanted to demolish and redevelop the building. At that very moment, the president's ghost leaps down from above and attacks Alice from 804. Seizing the moment, Jayan runs and shuts the door. From inside, terrifying banging sounds can be heard, and Alice dies in the exact same way the president once did. But the story doesn't end there, because soon after, a new tenant moves into that apartment. As the door opens, the new tenant standing there asks Dewey, "Do you live here alone?" Dewey quickly replies, "No, I live with my sister." But the new tenant, looking a little confused, says, "Strange. I don't see anyone else in this flat. And at night, there's a lot of noise coming from here." Dewey hurriedly changes the subject, but the atmosphere becomes even more mysterious. And friends, that was the full story of this movie. The big twist here is that our heroine Dewey might actually have been mentally ill. All those strange shadows, noises, and ghostly happenings she experienced, maybe they were just her own imaginations and hallucinations. So now the real question is, was there truly a spirit haunting that place, or was it all just in Dewey's mind? That's for you to decide. And with that, the story ends here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Also, subscribe to this channel for more horror stories like this.